We will now begin the hearing, and that means registration to speak in person and online is now closed. We will begin with those who are here in person and then move to those who have registered to speak virtually. Here are the ground rules for in-person speakers. When your name is called, please come to the microphone. Before you begin your remarks, please state your name and the city, state, and zip code of your residence. Two speakers will be called at a time to ensure we can keep the hearing moving efficiently. The second speaker can remain seated but should walk to the microphone as soon as the speaker before them completes their remarks. You will be given a maximum of 2 minutes to provide comment. We kindly ask that you keep your remarks focused on the proposed fair policy to ensure everyone has an opportunity to speak. We will be using a timer to help keep track and will remind you when you're close to your limit. We appreciate everyone's cooperation. Note that we will not be voting on the proposal tonight. This is a listening session for myself and my fellow board members. Questions will not be answered. If you have questions about the fair proposal, we ask that you attend the public meetings Jennifer just referenced, where you can share your questions and get answers directly from the IndyGo leadership who staff these meetings. We've already held 7 public meetings and 6 more scheduled over the next few weeks. To learn more, please visit www.indigo.net. Comments can also be submitted online and in person at any public meetings. All comments submitted will be shared with us, all of our board members here today. This completes the ground rules for in-person speakers. We will now begin by calling up our first speakers. Again, once you've called all those speaking in person, we will transition to those registered to speak virtually. I will now turn it over to our Director of Communications, Lisa Swords, who will call up our speakers.
Thank you, Director Gardner. We'll begin with Chris Hollingsworth and then move to Corey Wills.
I am Chris Hollingsworth, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46229. I serve as the MAC chair. Imagine the price of a gallon of gas going up overnight by $1.80. That's what a 57% increase looks like. And it's a difficult burden for many of the riders of IndyGo to bear, and they often have no other alternatives for transportation. But it's even worse for IndyGo Access customers. My neighbor is totally blind and earns around $10.50 an hour. He relies on paratransit and voucher services to get to and from work. And under the new fare structure, his daily commute will cost over $11 per day. Weekly, that's more than 5 hours worth of his paycheck just to get to and from the job. According to the U.S. Department of Labor, people with disabilities, that's your paratransit riders, earn 41% less than able-bodied workers on the average. Yet we pay double for transportation. Meanwhile, someone using IndyGo's fixed route service would be able to be subject to the fare capping, meaning they would pay no more than $24.75 per week, making all the further rides for that week free. This same fare capping does not apply to paratransit riders, meaning that with the proposed increase, paratransit riders would pay more than double just to go to work, let alone anything else they wanted to do. We understand that IndyGo needs a fare increase to help offset costs, but a 57% hike all at once is simply too much to absorb. So instead, I propose to gradually increase the fares over the next 4 years, 25 cents per year for both fixed route and paratransit. I further propose that paratransit users be subject to the same fare capping structure. This approach ensures that IndyGo meets its financial needs without placing an undue burden on riders, especially those in the disability community who rely on paratransit services for basic mobility and independence. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Corey Wills and then Greg Meyer. Please state your name, city, state, and zip code when you get to the podium.
Hello, my name is Corey Wills, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46268. And I'm here today to present a solution. People on SSI and SSDI are unable to afford their current percentage as it is written right now. Doing that will enable people like us for disabilities to struggle to go back and forth to work, period. I feel like it should be lowered to a lower percentage or a cent of a dollar. Thank you.
Thank you. Greg Meyer and then next Marissa Byers. Again, please state your name, city, state, and zip.
Name's Greg Meyer, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46229. 57% fare increase. Wow, that's a lot. I asked the board of directors this evening to think about if your mortgage payment went up, your car payment went up, your electric bill went up by an increase of 57%. How would you feel? Now you have an idea of what the Indy Access riders and paratransit riders are feeling. I myself and many other paratransit riders are going to have to make some difficult decisions. Which rides do I take? Which rides do I not take? Do I go to the grocery store, the doctor, pharmacy, go see friends, go to church? I'm not sure. And again, 57%, that's a crazy number. Don't know where it's coming up and how we're getting it. We just heard 261 was going to be enough, but we're taking it to 275 for fixed routes. That's okay. My question is, why is IndyGo in the position they're in right now? You know, this financial difficulty that they will be facing next year, year 2, year 3, year 4, down the road, and the public does not know anything about it at all. I do ask that you think about the amounts of increases. I do understand things go up. Things have to be paid for. I do understand and respect that. But I do ask that you think about the people, the most vulnerable, that's going to be hit the hardest. That's myself and other people that use the paratransit service. Thank you.
Thank you. Marissa Byers and then next Jordan Farmer.
My name
Please
is Marissa Byers. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, 46220. Thanks for the opportunity to speak this evening. I'm a daily bus commuter and I choose to ride the bus, even though I do have other alternatives. And as I meet other people who ride the bus, I know that this is not the case for everyone. So acknowledging the financial challenges of operating a system like IndyGo and the importance of finding other funding sources, I do believe that a more nuanced and creative approach is needed in order to avoid putting the full burden of cost on the people who can least afford it. What's more, the increase as proposed will put Indy's fare 50 cents higher than the cost to ride a bus in Chicago, with significantly less service and convenience for our riders here. So as a rider, I ask for a smaller or incremental fare increase, along with the system improvements that provide that value back to riders related to fare. These include a more dignified and streamlined payment experience without broken fare boxes or clunky QR codes or discrimination against cash users. A rider rewards program like Cincinnati's Metro has implemented, which goes beyond fare capping to provide incentives for riders, for employers, and even for downtown Indy tourism. And a higher age cap for free childcare, which would empower Indianapolis families and also develop lifelong riders. As I once overheard someone say on the bus, we should take pride in how our city moves, and these improvements to the fare system would make that possible. Thank you.
Jordan Farmer and then Tracy Jones. Jordan Farmer. All right, Tracy Jones. Again, state your name, city, state, and zip code.
Tracy Jones, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46239. I don't feel real prepared here, but I just want you to know that my sister is handicapped. She works for Crossroads Industrial just down the street. The fare increase for her would also be 57%. At this point in time, she has been riding IndyGo bus for, I'm gonna say 30 plus years. I understand there needs to be a fare increase, but she would lose about 50% of what she makes with this increase, which then leaves very little for her just daily essentials. And I do believe that all the adults that are trying to work and trying to be independent as handicapped adults, this is going to be very detrimental to them. So I feel like maybe a smaller increase for that fare or something that would be more doable for them would be in line. I appreciate your time. Thanks.
You, Tracy. Jeffrey Brown. Or Kira Schmid.
My name is Kara Schmid. I live in Indianapolis, Indiana, 46204. I've lived out here for about 7 years. I've been taking the bus just about as long. I had to move out here when my car broke down and I had to have transportation to get to work at the pizza place I worked for. I struggle to make ends meet. It was hand to mouth, it always has been, and I recently lost my job again due to physical problems that I can't control that I've had since I was 15 that have continued to get worse. So right now, I'm currently unemployed and receiving no income of any kind, and I'm working my tail off to try to get things in order, particularly with the SSDI office and all that, which has not been going well. But a fair increase for people like myself that are struggling to make ends meet isn't really going to work because, like other people have said, you're going to have to make choices whether to go to the doctor or get groceries, and it's difficult as is because hand to mouth, it's very difficult. I've got HUD, SNAP, TANF, Medicaid, and I'm doing the best I can to make ends meet, but I think we should look into how much people are making versus how much they're being charged. People that can afford it could be charged a little bit more. And we could also look into possibly having a collection jar for improvements to the system that we could have at the transit center for people to add $1 to every now and then. That might help. It may not be a perfect solution, but it's an idea. That's all I have to say for now.
Thank you. I'm gonna call again for two names that we called earlier, Jordan Farmer or Jeffrey Brown. Okay, Director Gardner, this completes our list of in-person speakers.
Thank you, and thanks to all of those who provided testimony. We will now shift gears to those who are registered to speak virtually. We also have a few ground rules for this group. When your name is called, you will see a message on your screen that says the host would like you to speak, along with two buttons that say unmute or stay muted. Please select unmute. Next, we will promote you to a panelist so that you can turn your camera on. You will see a message on your screen that says the host would like to promote you to be a panelist. Select the button that says join as a panelist. Once complete, you will be expected to turn on your camera before speaking. When you have completed your remarks, we will change your status back to attendee and your camera and microphone will be turned off. Turned off. Again, you will be given a maximum of 2 minutes to provide comment. We kindly ask that you keep your remarks focused on the proposed fare policy. We will provide a reminder when your when you are coming to the end of your time limit. Before you begin your remarks, please state your name and the city, state, and zip code of your residence. As stated earlier, this is a listening session only. Questions will not be answered. If you have questions about the fare proposal, we ask that you attend the public meetings where you can share your questions and get answers directly from IndyGo leadership who staff these meetings. You can find more on those meetings at indigo.net. Lisa, you can begin calling our virtual speakers.
Thank you, Director Gardner. We'll begin with Lisa Morgan. Lisa, I'm going to allow you to talk. I'm now going to promote you to panelist to allow you to turn on your camera. Your screen may briefly turn black and show a loading circle as Zoom promotes you to a panelist, but I ask that you turn on your camera now. And if you would begin by stating your name, your city, state, and zip code. You'll have 2 minutes.
Sorry, can I pass?
Oh, sure. Thank you. Next, we're going to move to David Hollinsworth. David, I'm going to allow you to talk, and I'm going to promote you to a panelist. Again, this should allow you to turn on your camera. Your screen may briefly turn black, but please just stick with it. Turn your camera on now if you would, and begin by stating your name, city, state, and zip code. Okay. And if you'd like to speak, you still can. If you'd like to pass, that's fine too. Okay, we are staying muted. We will move on. It looks like that might be everyone. Did Jordan Farmer just arrive? Nope. Oh, online? I've allowed you to talk. We're going to promote you to panelist. And if you'd like to turn on your camera, you'll have 2 minutes. Please state your name, city, state, and zip code. Jordan, you can go ahead and unmute yourself. Jordan, you should be receiving a message on your device to unmute yourself. Jordan, we seem to be having issues with being able to hear you. We'd very much like to hear your remarks. So if you'd like to join us at a public meeting or submit your remarks online, you're welcome to do so at indigo.net. Thank you. All right, next we'll ask Susan Jones to speak. I'm promoting you to a panelist, Susan, so you can share your camera with us, please. Again, there may be a brief black screen, but once you are a panelist, if you'd like to, please turn your camera on now. And again, begin by stating your name, city, state, and zip code. You'll have 2 minutes. Go ahead, Susan. Susan, I think you might still be muted. Let me ask you again to unmute. Hopefully you'll see that on your screen. There you go.
Am I unmuted?
You are now. We're glad to hear
Oh,
you,
yay.
Susan.
Thank you
Go
so
ahead.
much. Oh, now it's muted me again. Can you hear me?
We can hear you just fine, Susan. Go ahead.
This is Susan Jones, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46221. This fare increase will hit those of us who are disabled and using paratransit the hardest. And I believe that there should be some kind of an adjustment for that. I don't believe that means testing is a way to go here. That would be very complicated. But in general, I believe that this fare increase is justified. In the past 16 years, IndyGo and IndyGo Access have drastically improved service to Indianapolis riders. Fair wages for IndyGo employees and proper maintenance of equipment, as well as the ability to purchase and maintain the technology needed to make the best use of our city's resources, will help us have a transit and paratransit system that serves us well into the future and meets our growing and changing needs. I am a grateful transit and paratransit rider, but I do understand that those of us who ride paratransit will be hit the hardest. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Susan. Next, we'll have Christopher Meyer. Christopher, you should have received a note to be able to turn your camera on. Please do so now and begin by stating your name, city, state, and zip code. Christopher, you can go ahead and unmute.
Okay.
We can hear you now.
Okay. My name is Christopher Meyer, Indianapolis, Indiana, 46202. I do appreciate that costs and inflation mean that there are needs for change. I just want to echo what several others have said. As a blind person and member of the disabled community, I do think that this fare increase will hit my community the hardest, especially because of the rate increase for paratransit. I think it would be wise and helpful to try to offset some of the cost increases for paratransit, IndyGo Access riders like myself. I do live on a fixed income currently, so this will create great difficulties for me in terms of budgeting for the cost of transportation. I am very happy with the improvements to the transit system here in Indianapolis over the last 10 years, especially. And I would just like to see the rate increase be more dispersed over the whole rider population rather than putting so much of a burden on paratransit users like myself. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Thank you, Christopher.
Thank you.
Next, we'll move to Rolanda Broom. Rolanda, I've promoted you to a panelist. So when that, now that you've accepted, please turn your camera on and begin by stating your name, city, state, and zip code. You will have 2 minutes.
Hello, can you hear me?
We can. Rolanda, go ahead.
Yes, I am a IndyGo rider. I am grateful for the fact that there have been a lot of improvements over the past few years. I understand that with the ever increasing cost of every single thing, that the costs need to be increased. Here's the concern that I have. Okay. First of all, I think there should be more even disbursement, paratransit versus non-paratransit in terms of the increased costs. Secondly, I also am concerned about the fact that the elimination of the passes for the $60 passes. Because every month I know I can budget at $60 and everything is taken care of, unlimited use. Okay. And that is what I am concerned about. Okay. Because of the fact that you're eliminating those passes. I know that the other folks don't operate that way, but for me and those who are very conscious of the budget, the $60 pass that's used every month helps tremendously, and then I can use that pass unlimited as many times as I need to during the course of a month and not have to worry. So that's what concerns me. I understand about the fare capping, but I am still concerned. Thank you so much for allowing me to speak.
Thank you. Next, we'll move to Lisa Morgan. Lisa, I've promoted you to a panelist. Now that you've accepted, if you'd like to turn your camera on now and state your name, city, state, and zip code, you'll have 2 minutes. Oops, she declined.
Oh, she lied.
Okay. Then we will move on to Ryan Malone. Oh. Ryan Malone, if you'd like to say it, we've promoted you to panelist. Please. Now that you've rejoined as a panelist, if you would like to turn your camera on, please state your name, city, state, and zip code. You will have 2 minutes. Can we ask you to unmute, Ryan?
All right, sorry about that.
That's all right, there you go.
All right. Honestly, I didn't prepare a lot. I was just wanting to be part of this. But what I will say is I am concerned. I understand the need to increase the fares. I think all of us do. Everything's gotten more expensive. But I think that the concern that a lot of us have, and I'm a person with disabilities, I'm a member of the Mayor's Advisory Council on Disability. That when you're talking about a population, that there's all sorts of data that shows, the effect of that having a disability makes for you being, the earnings you can have, how employable you are.
Ryan? Your camera froze. We don't hear you anymore. This might be a downfall of the storms that are passing through.
Yeah.
Ryan, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to thank you for your time and move you back to an attendee. If there's anyone else who would like to, I believe the rest of these folks here might be our own team members. If there's anyone who I've missed, please raise your hand in the lower left-hand corner. I see maybe Jack Kelly. I'm going to promote you to a panelist. If you'd like to accept that and turn on your camera. Okay, then I ask Kelly, there you are. You can turn on your camera. Okay. If there's anyone else who would like to speak, please raise your hand. In the lower, in the bottom of your camera, you can do that, and we will promote you. And Director Gardner, it appears that concludes our list of virtual speakers.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. In addition to this public hearing, so far, IndyGo has received 60 written comments either through email or on our website, and a handful of verbal comments through our customer service line. In addition, we would like to acknowledge that we received a letter from City County Councilor Minority Leader Michael Paul Hart expressing concerns about the fee increase for paratransit services. As mentioned prior to the start of the public hearing, IndyGo has held 7 public meetings to accept public input on the fare policy proposal, and there are 6 more meetings scheduled over the next few weeks, in addition to presentations at several neighborhood association meetings. We continue to welcome your feedback over the next couple of months ahead of our board vote August 21st. Please visit indigo.net for the schedule of the remaining public meetings or to provide comment online or by phone.